It's Fer here. Now, today, what I'm going to be talking about is the One Piece Grand Data books. Now, these books were approved and supervised by Oda, so it's definitely some legit factual stuff in here. Essentially, what these books are, it reveals things that were not stated in the manga probably because Oda did not have enough time to talk about everything. Because One Piece is a long ass manga, so he doesn't have time to talk about everything, so he put some information in the books to make things more understandable. But right now there are currently 5 books, and like they came out like years ago. But for example, Scopper Gaban's name was never stated in the manga, so how did we know about his name? Because they revealed his name in one of these data books. Actually, a lot of people that we know right now, their names were stated in the data books but not in the manga. Now there's no official translation of these data books. Like, there's really some interesting stuff in the books, but there's no like Viz manga. No one has really translated. You can only get rough translations of these data books. However, some people managed to get a rough translation of the major things that were revealed in the books. So shout out to all these guys. I'll link the forum posts in the description, and you can go check that out yourself. But there's a lot of info, but I'm not going to go through over everything, because some of the stuff you already know. But I'm just going to talk about the ones I found interesting, and I'll give you my take on it. Number 1, Shanks' swordsmanship is at top level. Mihawk is the number 1 swordsman. Mihawk is the number 1 swordsman. Now, obviously, Shanks' swordsmanship is on the level where he can compete with Mihawk, but Mihawk is the very top in terms of swordsmanship. But this doesn't generally mean like overall fighting capabilities. I personally think Shanks' fighting style is like really where he uses his legs and swords and all of that. Kind of like a freestyle fighting style. Think of Mugen from Samurai Champloo. I think that's how Shanks actually fights. But yeah, Mihawk is definitely number 1 in terms of swordsmanship, and Shanks can compete with that. Number 2, Ben Beckman is the vice captain of the Shanks Pirates. We know, I think this one's pretty much obvious, common knowledge in the One Piece community, but it wasn't known as fact, but that's pretty much what it is. Now, this was stated in the SBS as well. I feel like Oda has always portrayed Ben Beckman as the first mate / vice captain, just like Zoro. But unlike the Straw Hats, unlike Sanji and Zoro, I think Ben Beckman is a mixture of both Sanji and Zoro, because he has both brains and brawls. He's like 2 characters mixed into one, which Zoro is kind of lacking in the intelligence aspect, and Sanji is lacking in the power aspect. So I think he's both. He's like Sanji and Zoro combined. That's just my take on it. Now, number 3, Whitebeard was the strongest Roger. Yeah, this one too, common knowledge. Okay, this was stated in the manga and also confirmed in the data books as well. Buggy was actually this first person to say the only man who could stand up to Roger on equal terms was Whitebeard. This was like back, I think it was Jaya arc, I can't remember. I just recently reread One Piece, so I remember Buggy saying something like that. Number 4, in general, there's 2 things deciding if a Nakama is possibly joining: timing and Luffy's instinct. So at the end of the day, it's ultimately up to Luffy to choose who joins. Obviously, if you have good chemistry with the Straw Hat, there's a good chance the person will join, like Pedro, Jinbei, Carrot. In the recent chapters, all these guys, they have good chemistry that Luffy probably likes, so I wouldn't be surprised if they joined. Plus the whole thing with Big Mom where they're helping get Sanji back and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some new Straw Hats in this arc. Obviously Jinbei is definitely on the list, but Pedro and Carrot, that's debatable. Number 5, Nami is the eternal captain of the ship. Now, in this case, she basically tells people what to do on the ship, since she is the navigator. So, like turning the wheels, raising the sails, and all of that stuff. So yeah, when it comes to all the stuff that goes on in the ship, Nami is the captain in a way. Everyone pretty much obeys what she says, since she does like navigate the ship and everything. Number 6, on the level of political function and power, Cypher Pole and the Shichibukai are greater than Marine HQ. Now, I was actually shocked by this. I can understand like Cypher Pole being more powerful in terms of authority, since they are like the royal guards of the Celestial Dragons, but you would think the Marines would have more power, more of a say than the warlords. But I'm guessing it has to do with all the great balance, how they want to keep the balance and everything. The Gorosei does all it takes to keep the balance, so they kind of give maybe the Shichibukai an extra benefit, because when Moria was defeated, they kind of just like, even though he got defeated, they just kind of like let it go. They didn't care. They just wanted that balance to stay. at where it is. Number 7, Doflamingo may have signed a different contract with the world government as being a warlord. I don't know if you guys remember, but after the Marineford War, the whole thing there, we see Dofi talking to a noble in Marijois, and he kind of threatened the guy in a way. And we also know that Dofi knows the national treasure of Marijois and uses that as leverage against the Celestial Dragon. This is probably why he's capable of like using the Cypher Ball Zero to like cover shit up when he supposedly left his position back in Dressrosa. So Dofi actually holds more power than other warlords due to like knowing the national treasure and his business with these Celestial Dragons. So yeah, Dofi, man, he's got a lot on his repertoire. Number 8, there is a big possibility that a pirate from Roger's crew named Copper or Bronze appearing later in the story, since Roger is gold and really is silvers. Now they're obviously talking about Scorpio Gaban. Now, like I mentioned before, his name was never mentioned in the manga, but it was mentioned in the data books. Now, the interesting part is that they said there is a big chance that he might show up in this current story. Now, a lot of people think Wano, but I've also seen like ones where people say he might appear as a guest at the tea party. But yeah, we should really see Scorpio Gaban soon. Maybe when the Straw Hat in like a lot of trouble, he just pops on, just like Rayleigh did against Kizaru. But yeah, Scorpio Gaban, yeah, we're definitely going to see him soon. Number 9, it's very sure that there would be a pirate wearing an eye patch showing up in the final arc. What? Now, I got confused by this because throughout the entire series, I've never seen a prominent pirate or character that we know of with an eye patch. So I have no idea who this guy might be, but he is supposedly showing up at Endgame. So that's definitely crazy. I don't know if it's foreshadowing, I don't know. So yeah, I really want, guys, comment down below who do you guys think this guy is, because I have no idea right now. Number 10, it's almost impossible to find a ship that is big enough for San Juan Wolf. Yeah, like to be honest, like I've always wondered how he was ever locked up in Impel Down in first place, because those cells, I don't think they're big enough for him to fit in there. And he's supposedly the biggest giant in the series, even bigger than Oars who showed up at Marineford. And he appears to be fisherman as well, like Wadatsumi. But yeah, obviously this dude is way too huge for a ship. Probably chills on the water though, I think anyways. 11, Jesus Burgess mask may be taken off someday and his face will be seen. Burgess has that like real Mysterio thing going on, so I think they teased that whole situation at Dressrosa in the Coliseum, where you know he had a bag over his face, and I don't know, that might be some type of foreshadowing to a potential future event. So I don't know, he might be a Vinsmoke with the curly eyebrow, I don't know. I'm just joking. Number 12, Shiki the Golden Lion was as strong as Roger. Now everybody kind of guessed this, pretty obvious, not obvious, but you know, Shiki was as strong as Roger. I think he was known as Roger's rival, like Whitebeard, and he's like the kid of this era. But yeah, Shiki, Garb, Sengoku, Whitebeard, Roger, those guys were all about on the same level. Number 13, Bonnie has a deep relations with the world government. This was kind of hinted in the manga as well, because when Akainu caught Bonnie, he stated that she actually ran away from the government. So she might be like a Sanji in a way, where she's like from a noble family in the world government and stuff like that. But yeah, Bonnie, I feel like she's definitely a dark horse amongst the supernova. She might have some like history with the world government, I don't know. Maybe I've seen a theory where people saying she's the one making the Gorosei young, and she was the one who made Akainu young over the pre-time skip, so a post-time skip, so he gains his prime or something. Like I don't know, there's some crazy theories out there, but you know, she definitely has some relations to the world government. Number 14, Speed Jiru, the commander of the 14th division, is the fastest man in the Whitebeard Pirates. During Marineford, there was like a scene where Kizaru and Jiru had a moment. He was like kind of complimenting Kizaru's light kicks, and he actually dodges one of Kizaru's kicks, the very same one that hit X-Drake. So Jiru dodges that, but apparently he is the fastest man in Whitebeard's crew, so he might have some type of devil fruit that allows him to do so. So yeah, man, he's faster than Marco, he's faster than Jozu, he's the fastest dude in the Whitebeard Pirates. Number 15, Vista's swordsmanship is strong enough to fight against Mihawk. Now this is why, like during the whole Marineford thing, this is why Mihawk and Vista could go toe to toe at Marineford. Vista's swordsmanship is also top tier, like Shanks. So Shanks fanboys might hate me for this, but I'm just using logic here. But logically speaking, if Vista was capable of keeping up with Mihawk, who's a top #1 swordsman in the world, then Vista should be capable of fighting Shanks when it comes to pure swordsmanship. Again, it's not overall fighting capabilities, it's just swordsmanship. Vista is on that level. But you know, obviously Shanks would wreck Vista if they actually go all out and all that. But you know, in terms of the short swordsmanship, these dudes can throw hands. Number 16, Vivi as the representative of Alabasta is going to attend the world meeting that is quadrennial. We know this one ever since it was mentioned at the end of the Dressrosa, but the data books basically confirmed this ages ago. 4 years ago, man, we knew Vivi was actually going to the Reverie. Number 17, Yasop has history with Vista. It's funny because though I think I was watching one of Legend Mag's video, I don't know which one it was, but it was basically talking about what a scene where during Marineford where Vista and Yasop had a stare off when Shanks came to stop the war. So it seems like Yasop is like Vista's counterpart in Shanks' crew. So Marco would be Ben Beckman, Jozu would be Lucky Roo, and Yasop would be Vista. Does that mean Yasop is the 3rd strongest in Shanks' crew? I don't know, but I always thought he was 2nd strongest due to the fact like anytime Shanks would go forward, it would be Ben Beckman, Yasop, then Lucky Roo. So the portrayal, from what it seemed like anyway, it seems like he was the 2nd strongest, but maybe he's the most 2nd respected in the crew, but not the 2nd strongest. So Lucky Roo might be the dude that is actually the 2nd strongest in Shanks' crew. But yeah, Yasop and Vista, they have some personal history there, so that's kind of cool to know. Number 19, Lafitte may be capable of entering any place. I wouldn't be surprised because this is the same man who basically sneaked into the Warlords meeting at Marijor and offered Blackbeard as position for the next Warlord. So Sengoku was like, how the heck did he get in here? So you know, apparently he can use like some type of hypnosis where he can like control people, just like he did with the Gates of Justice. But you know, it looks like he has a mythical zone devil fruit though, because he has wings and everything. I think Alpha made a really good theory on that. So yeah, man, Lafitte, he's I mean, like, just sneaking into Marijor in the first place without nobody knowing, like, I wouldn't be. That's why I think Dragon, all these dudes are gonna show up pretty easily. People are saying like the Marines gotta put like security and everything. If this Lafitte guy was capable of doing so, I think Dragon has his people that possibly can get in rather easily. So if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, share. It's Pharaoh, and I will see you guys later. Peace.